All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm talking with an eminent secular thinker. His name is Daniel Dennett, professor of philosophy and co-director of the Center for Cognitive Studies, Tufts University. His latest book, Breaking the Spell, Religion as a Natural Phenomenon. I debated this issue, Professor, at Oxford many years ago, and the professor was an atheist. And the issue was, can there be morality without God? That was the topic. And he acknowledged at the outset that my proposition that if there is no God, that morality is subjective, he said, that's incontrovertible. He would then argue,
I think he made a mistake right there, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's obviously you do, but he then went on to say, well, for you people who believe in God, well, there's also relativity, but he acknowledged that without a transcendent source, morality is just what either a community or an individual makes it up to be.
Well, there's communities and then there's communities. If we can get a community which is basically worldwide to agree on a few things, then that should count for something, shouldn't it?
No.
Why not?
Because I have zero faith in the world community. The world community, in practice, is an utterly amoral unit. I have more faith in Daniel Dennett than I do in the world community. The world community stinks. The world community is watching Darfur burn, watched Rwanda burn, watched Cambodia burn, watched the Holocaust burn, watched the Ukraine Holocaust burn, watched the Armenians die.
Well, yes, I should have said a well-informed world community.
It's very well-informed. No, everybody knows about Darfur. They don't give a damn.
Well, I don't think that's really the case. But if you're interested in whether belief in religion makes people more moral, there's plenty of empirical evidence that it doesn't.
I don't believe that. I believe, well, it depends on what religion. I would say, okay, that's a fair question. I think that an essay in one of my books is when religion causes people to be worse. I believe that is happening now in parts of Islam. I don't think that there are Muslims who would deny that.
Yeah, and it's happening also in parts of Judaism and parts of Christianity.
Yeah,
and
but they're much.
Buddhism,
wait. But there's no equivalence. I mean, please don't tell me there's a moral equivalence right now between the threat to humanity from Christianity and Judaism and the threat from Islam.
No, I think probably the threat from Islam is greater. You're right.
Okay, so fine. So okay, that's important. In the meantime, the New York Review of Books, which is a left of center journal, just recently noted in one of its articles a review on the, I believe it was the something to do with the Civil War and slavery, and it said, look, it's a known fact that it was religious Christians overwhelmingly who were who formed the abolitionist movement in the United States.
I think that's true. I think religions have done wonderful jobs of moral teamwork. They've created movements that have changed the world for good many times. That's one of the reasons why in my book I say we don't tamper with this lightly. These are beautifully designed systems that have evolved over thousands of years. They're doing a lot of work. We should not dismantle them without looking very hard to see what makes them work, how they tick, why they are so popular, why they have such a tremendous allegiance. And these are very important facts, and we should get to the bottom of them.
Right, and
revising and adjusting our religion.
Okay, and the bottom line for me is that the people have a leap of faith that the secular don't have, and will make the necessary sacrifice. There is no secular Salvation Army. Tell me who works for the pittance that the Salvation Army does, helping poor people who that is in secular life. There's
How about Oxfam? How about Médecins Sans Frontières?
Yes, well, first of all, there's no comparison in the numbers. The numbers of Médecins Sans Frontières is a wonderful organization of doctors who volunteer time and go into dangerous areas. God bless them, or forget, well, God is not the issue. Let humanity bless them.
Yes, good.
But in terms of sheer numbers, you are far more likely, sticking to the United States for a moment, to get a Salvation Army. The Red Cross does good, but the head of the Red Cross gets $400,000, and the head of the Salvation Army gets $27,000.
Yeah, I take your point, and in fact I make that point in my book, that most of the heavy lifting for moral organizations around certainly the United States is done by religious organizations, and I take my hat off to them for that. I think that's very important.
And aren't you then, and I salute you for that, aren't you then afraid that if people abandon faith, that chaos and selfishness will then prevail? I'll take your answer as soon as we come back. I want to tell everybody the book, Breaking the Spell, Religion as a Natural Phenomenon. Daniel Dennett, professor at Tufts University, is the author and my guest. You are listening to The Dennis Prager Show.